the development of our civilization, humans have constructed many buildings. Some have collapsed, imploded, and crumbled. Others have lasted hundreds and even thousands of years. This is how learning takes place. Humans analyze their architectural successes and failures and gain valuable knowledge from them. People may have had a different background knowledge today on the chemical makeup of materials, but they could see what stood up to the test of time. This is what produces architectural masterpieces like the Pantheon and many of their cathedrals. Another perspective one may not have on historic architecture is that those who started these grand projects understood that they might never see the finished product, and what that proves, especially in places of worship like cathedrals, that their religion is still alive. When architects designed the cathedrals, they embraced innovations because that is what took their places of worship from thatched roofs to towering spires and flying buttresses. Site 1. The Pantheon. The Pantheon was originally constructed by the Romans from 27 to 25 BC, as a place of worship for the 12 Roman gods. It survived over 100 years before the Roman Emperor Hadrian ordered its reconstruction from 118 to 125 AD. For the first few centuries, the Pantheon was a pagan temple, but in 609, Pope Boniface had permission to convert it to a Christian church. The reconstruction included the infamous dome, which utilized an ingenious method of construction. The Pantheon has the world's strongest reinforced concrete dome. Though the dome is constructed from heavy materials, they decided to make it lighter as it rose in height by making the concrete thinner as it went up, from 6 meters to 2 meters thick. They also mixed in lighter materials such as travertine at the bottom and pumice further up. French writer Stendhal, who visited the church during the 18th century, described it as the most beautiful relic of ancient Rome, a temple so well preserved that it appears as the Romans must have seen it in their times. But chemically, what explains its pristine preservation? For many years researchers thought it to be pozzolanic materials, specifically volcanic ash from the area of Pozzuoli. Historic documents and material analysis show that the ash was shipped across Rome's vast empire. The specific variety of ash was documented as a key ingredient for Roman concrete. The real answer to the mystery of Roman concrete's durability was originally dismissed as an example of poor mixing practices. When examining samples of Roman concrete, small bright white mineral features were discovered called lime clasts, not present in modern concrete. As the name suggests, these features originate from lime, another key concrete ingredient. The key to the durability of the concrete was the process of hot mixing. The lime clasts were made by hot mixing the quicklime at extreme temperatures. The benefits of hot mixing are twofold. Masick says. First, when the overall concrete is heated to high temperatures, it allows chemistries that are not possible if you only used slaked lime, producing high temperature associated compounds that would not otherwise form. Second, this increased temperature significantly reduces curing and setting times since all the reactions are accelerated, allowing for much faster construction. The product is very brittle and reactive. As soon as tiny fractures appear in the surface of the concrete, the calcium carbonate reacts with water. Eventually, it recrystallizes and effectively self-repairs the surface of the concrete. This process is undoubtedly a major difference between modern and ancient Roman concrete. St. Basil's Cathedral in Moscow, Russia is a beautiful example of using red bricks. Its construction was ordered by Ivan the Terrible from 1551 to 1561 in Moscow, Russia, as a show of military and political power after Russia won. The cathedral was so full of beauty and symbolism that it is said that its architect, Postnik Yakovlev, was blinded post-construction so its beauty could not be replicated. Since its construction was completed, it stood through countless fires, pillages, lootings, and other instances. Even during Napoleon's attempted conquest of Russia, Napoleon Bonaparte wanted to take St. Basil's Cathedral back to France with him. Obviously, this was impossible, and Napoleon knew that. In classic Napoleon fashion, his way around this obstacle was to order its destruction because if Napoleon can't have it, no one can. His army prepared its attack, going as far as to light the gunpowder, but a miraculous downpour prevented any explosions from ignition, let alone doing any real damage to the cathedral. However, Napoleon still managed to burn all of the historic documents, providing valuable context from the building's construction. Tragically, the cathedral was secularized in 1929 by the Bolsheviks after the Soviet government seized the building. The main materials used to construct it were white stone, red brick, and wood for the building's spires and domes. Together, silica, sand, and alumina, clay, make up about 85% of a brick, 55% and 30% respectively. The chemical makeup of silica is SiO2, Alumina is Al2O3, and other materials like iron oxide, Fe2O3, magnesia, milligramo, and lime, Ca, are also present. Bricks have a mixture of both ionic, covalent, and polyatomic compounds which contribute to their strength. The strength of bricks is mostly accredited to two processes: vitrification and bond formation during firing. For context, vitrification is the same process used to make glass. When clay bricks are heated to high temperatures, 1000 to 1200 degrees Celsius, chemical changes occur that enhance their structure. The intense heat drives off water from the clay's molecular structure and promotes the fusion of silica and alumina particles, forming a glassy matrix through vitrification. This glassy phase, combined with the formation of strong ionic and covalent bonds between mineral particles, gives bricks their characteristic hardness and resistance to compression. The high heat and chemical reactions during firing also results in the bricks becoming porous. Porosity is important in building materials because it makes it just absorbent enough to soak up water without forming cracks during freeze-thaw cycles. This is an important factor in Moscow. Put simply, a stave church is a medieval wooden Christian church building. The name is derived from the building's structure of post and lintel construction, which is a type of timber framing, where the load-bearing posts are called staffer in Old Norse and stav in Norwegian. Although many of these wood churches were built during the 11th century, several have lasted to this day. It's a fascinating testament to the Spirit of God thriving for such a long time in these medieval churches. Understanding polymers is vital to understanding the makeup of wood. A polymer is any of a class of natural or synthetic substances composed of very large molecules, called macromolecules, which are multiples of simpler chemical units called monomers. Polymers make up many of the materials in living organisms and are the basis of many minerals and man-made materials. Wood is a very strong material because of both its chemical makeup and structure. The three primary components of wood are cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. Cellulose is the primary structural polymer, made up of long chains of glucose molecules. These chains bundle together into fibers that give wood its tensile strength, allowing it to resist pulling and stretching forces. Cellulose is strengthened by numerous hydrogen bonds between chains which are quite strong when placed together. Cellulose fibers are surrounded by hemicellulose, which is a shorter branched polymer made up of varying kinds of sugars. It fills the space between cellulose and binds them together. Hemicellulose also manages to advance the flexibility instead of wood being too brittle. Lignin is the third polymer. It is complex and composed of aromatic, ring, compounds that are arranged in 3D structures. Lignin is the glue, or natural adhesive that holds all the other components together. Lignin is also vital because of its ability to provide wood with compressive strength, meaning it can better resist crushing forces. Finally, lignin is hydrophobic, preventing the wood from rotting, which is very important to preserving stave churches. Wood is considered a very basic material, but it balances strength, flexibility, durability, and even aesthetic value. Even microscopic levels, you can see the complex cells that make up its cellular structure. These cells are hollow and are called tracheids and fibers. They are arranged in a grid-like pattern, which makes an incredibly strong and lightweight frame. It is said that there are 3 easy ways to make something last for a very long time. First of these methods is making it out of durable materials. Obviously, building something out of a strong material will make that thing strong. There are exceptions, however. Gold is durable, yet valuable, so a structure built from gold runs the risk of having it melted down and taken. The second is building something to be very large, as it makes it harder, or not worthwhile to dismantle. The last method is to make it culturally important, like a religious artifact or burial site. Anything deemed sacred means people are willing to protect it. This is why seemingly impractical monuments exist. We build these monuments to last. The Pantheon's innovative concrete, St. Basil's brick mastery, and Heddle stave church's timber craftsmanship showcase humanity's ability to adapt materials to specific needs. These structures stand as timeless monuments to human creativity, engineering, and faith, reminding us that true legacy is built not just to last, but to inspire future generations.